WarsawJS.
First of all, can you imagine yourself writing 50 books and 600 articles? Keep that for yourself. I'll get back to that later. My name is Piotr Sławiński, and I'm a JavaScript developer. And tonight, this evening, I'll be talking about the digital second brain, or how to turn information into knowledge, because those two things are not the same. But first, a little bit of background. So I wanted to, there was time where I wanted to sort out my life and increase my productivity. And I tried many things. I tried to-do lists, I tried bullet journals and plain note-taking, but none of that worked. I usually got bored pretty quickly, but then I stumbled upon this book, Getting Things Done by David Allen, and this book taught me that actually there's a system with which I could increase my productivity, which could allow me to manage my time by mm, taking stuff which I'm not working on, but out of my mind and into some sort of external system, external storage. So I wouldn't constantly think about things I need to do, because all of that would be in some elsewhere. And that place, the inbox, a physical inbox, a digital inbox, could store all that stuff I don't need to think about, and which would allow me to process those things at the time which is most suitable. So actionable items could be performed, some data could be stored and organized, and well, trash would be just thrown away. And that's not much takeaways for a book which has 400 pages. But trust me, it works, because I have one more prop. I have a storage box in which I have some files to put those stuff in, and plain old paper files. For instance, in this one, I have stickers. So everything has its place and it's all sorted, and actually it's pretty decent. Okay, so we are organized in the physical world, but half of our lives happens in the internet, including our work, and we need solutions for the digital age where kids cannot read cursive. So we could use software. I'm talking about Notion, Evernote, Confluence, something which was created to gather information. And all that software is either has features of either a wiki or a knowledge base. And those things are quite different. Those features are different because they approach differently to how to access that content. Those solutions present tools that enable or don't provide any tools to enable, let's say, handling duplicates, or even incorporating a review process for the contents. And also, we could either throw everything inside, which could probably be a little bit chaotic, or we can organize this in a logical way. And actually, also, we could improve or not. We could, as you can see, wikis are a little bit limited in that area. I mean, searching. We could incorporate artificial intelligence. We have third-party solutions for that, which could improve the user experience of our knowledge base of our software. But also we could use markup language to create content. We could use what you see is what you get editors. It depends actually on the software, which actually we end up with a tool which is more or less user friendly. And so yeah, so we can then choose the tool to use to create our second brain. We know the features, but how to use those tools efficiently. Enter Niklas Luhmann. He was a German sociologist, and he was the guy who wrote all those books and articles I mentioned in the beginning. So, how did he achieve that? He basically wrote down everything he knows on a little slips of paper, and he put them into drawers which resembled a library catalog, like this one in the picture on your left. And that is called the Zettelkasten method. And what is that, you may ask? Well, this is, in short words, note-taking on steroids, because notes are interconnected, linked to each other in a non-linear way, using sort of hypertext. And those connections actually create a graph or a web of thought. And that means that connections make new insights possible. They make new ideas possible. And that's actually how our brain works. It's not a book. It's more of a web. So to recap, we have all the ingredients for a second brain. We have the motivation. We have we know the features we want to use in our second brain, and we have the methodology. So what's next? We need an actual tool. And the best one is, in my opinion, Obsidian. It's a knowledge base where files are stored locally, text files, which means that in comparison to software which stores all your data in a cloud, you can actually do anything with your files. You can store it on your hard drive, on your network drives. You can upload it by yourself in cloud of your choice, or even on GitHub. Why not? It creates connected. You can create connected nodes, which then present in a graph in a graph-like data structure. And the Obsidian supports Markdown. It has split planes. Why not? And also it's customizable with plugins. And actually, there's another feature, and that's slide decks, because this presentation was created in Obsidian. And now I would like to take you on a quick tour around Obsidian. Okay, I hope this is big enough. So as you can see, those are my speaker notes, my slide deck. I used this knowledge base. I started using this knowledge base when I was preparing for job interviews, because most of the stuff stored within this vault over here is related to programming, but it can store all kinds of data. So it's up to you what you're putting inside. And let me start with an example. So, okay, we have an Omni search tool over here. So I was trying to learn about JavaScript engine, and what I've seen is that what occurred to me is that I don't know the connection between the JavaScript engine and the what's the name, execution context. I couldn't see the links between them, so I started to write about it. I started to take notes. So over here we have the JavaScript engine. Over here we have the execution context, which is also uh, mm, mm, extensively described, at least for my purposes. And in the end, when I wrote all about the just-in-time compilation or the thread of execution, it occurred to me that finally I know how it works. I know how everything works in this part of JavaScript environment, JavaScript runtime environment. And actually, this revelation motivated me to write a blog post about it. And so I did it. I wrote a blog post about this, about the JavaScript engine, and that actually means that I have 599 articles to go. But so what else would you like to see? You'd probably would like to see the graph feature. So we could display this as a graph, and you could see all the connections between the nodes. Oh, it's a little bit slow. Okay, so we are in the JavaScript engine article over here, and it's connected to all those nodes over here, so we can jump right to them. As you can see, execution context displayed additional connections. Let's say we can go to the scope, and oh, that's on my to-do list. Okay, as you can see, the possibilities are, well, in my opinion, limitless. I just scratched the surface with this tool, and I'm still learning new stuff about it. And what is actually the most important thing about this second brain is that actually all of the information already gathered could be displayed in form of a graph. So here it is. I hope it's visible. It's not essential for you to see what those points are exactly, but those are the nodes I've created. Those are the connections between the nodes. And actually, it may not look impressive because in comparison to other people's second brains, but yeah, this got me a job. So let me quickly get back to the question I initially asked. Do you imagine yourself writing those books and all those articles? Well, I will try to answer it. I certainly could imagine myself writing all those books. Will it happen? Probably not. But that vision of writing those books, wildly improbable at first, has become vividly clear after incorporating Second Brain in my life. And this is it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Piotr. Very impressive, and I would say encouraging to try this method. I honestly, was quite familiar with mind mapping in my past. It was a method, analog method. You actually use piece of paper and crayons and pencil and try to draw these connections. And I really think the brain really works also like a graph. When connecting new facts, so I believe this could work. Questions. Are there other questions for Piotr? Especially, there is one question from me. Can you tell us how long did you build this graph, this second brain now?
I guess it's about a year of work, but I wasn't so meticulous about it. I created nodes in waves. It was like when I started job hunting, I instantly started creating those notes because I had to prepare myself for the interviews, and those preparations came in waves, and that's how I created those graphs.
Yeah, getting the first job sometimes needs a lot of sacrifice. My friend, for example, had to read and go through the whole hacking the interview book. It was like this kind of break, and he made all of these algorithmic exercises.
It's hard for the second job as well.
Yes. So okay, there is a question from Agnieszka. You mentioned that the best Zettelkasten app is Obsidian. Did you try out some alternatives? And if yes, what were they? And what makes Obsidian the best out of them?
Okay, so as far as I know, the main competitor of Obsidian is Rome Research, and I think there's some older software used purely for Zettelkasten. I think it was Archive, or I don't want to to mistake anything. So let's consider Rome Research and Obsidian. So I'm guessing Rome Research is great, but Obsidian is free.
Okay, that's a very good
That's not
argument.
enough. They have probably more features. Rome Research is great, but the free stuff really talks to me.
Listen, there is
Free tier because there are paid tiers as well.
okay. All right, so there is another question from Seven, and I like this question because this was always also my thought when I wanted to invest my time into planning. Was it work for you? Did it work for you, or just a process? I mean, does it get shaped naturally along with your education, or do you need to put extra effort and planning to create that? Because I think I guess what he means, that when you want to plan, when you put some extra that you want to put some more extra effort into creating these notes and learning how to create them and learning how to learn to create them. You may never bite the meat, right? So it's like stopping you and hesitate, and you start to hesitate. Oh, is it a really good idea to put so much effort? Maybe I should just learn instead of plan all of that and do the everything around.
I understand. So as always, the hardest part is to start. And actually, the only planning was involving what recruiters would like to hear from me, or what questions would they ask. And so I just had to cover the basics. And in terms of effort or work I had to put inside, well, I had to learn it anyway, and I believe it's actually it requires less work than learning in, let's say, traditional way, like, I don't know, with a notepad and writing down stuff, or just reading or watching a video. So the Zettelkasten and Second Brain actually shows results very quickly, and it's quite actually, when you have good sources, it's quite a lot of fun to create all those nodes in the graph, and you can see how it works together, and it's very satisfying. It's like it has features of gamification, I believe.
Mm. Oh yeah, so it brings more motivation to your work and to learning. Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Thank you very much for this reply, for this answer. And are you going to join us on Discord?
Of course. See you there.
So see you there, Piotr. Thank you very much.